Let's move on. Joe Temple, Wetlands and Public Safety.
I have two questions and a comment. I live in Island Green South, and Peach Creek flows through the property, and there is a wetlands buffer around it that we are constrained from entering. Even after the flood from Florence, we were unable to go in there and work on it to clear the debris from that to relieve the flood. We had to wait for the state. And there are signs posted around it, basically telling us to keep out. That same creek flows across the old golf course. It enters the golf course from our property boundary. And it flows across the old holes 4, 5, 7, and 8. To the right of that is a bluff. It's maybe 20 feet high in places. And to the left of that, there's a relatively low area and goes up either to the tee box or the greens of one of those holes. It was perpetually wet. I believe the golf course was constrained from filling and making the drainage different or the rise of the land different, because I believe it's a buffer for storm flow and surge from the Wakama. And so my question is, when I see the fill that's in the parking lot by the old clubhouse there, is the current owner of the property constrained like we are, or is there some reason why that land can be filled? Because it's all right. Or has the work been done? Is there a buffer zone planned for that area? Okay, so that's my first question. I have looked at all the maps and the flood area. It is in a designated inventory of the federal government, and I believe the state at one time thought of that as buffer land as well, which is why I can't believe the golf course would have left it the way it was for so many years when it was thriving if they weren't constrained. On the other hand, I understand why later years they didn't, because they probably didn't want to spend the money anyway. But that's my question. Is there a constraint? And has the Corps of Engineers looked at it? The second question has to do with the planning board approved a blockage of a road, a gate, and recently, I forget the name of the street, but it's off of St. Andrews and goes between the St. Andrews Road and Green Tree. My wife had sent pictures and filled out a form for that. We've never heard anything from them, and in the meantime, that thing got filled. Got put in place. There are two other blockages, one to east and one to Green Tree. I don't know if they were ever approved. I know the one on Glen Eagles Drive from Green Tree into St. Andrews still looks on a map and on the GPSs like it's open, and the people in Green Springs find that people follow GPS down there and see their barrier and leave. We are already in a situation where we have one exit for a huge number of houses onto Freewoods, and we're building more houses, and I don't believe that clogging up the interior things roads is appropriate under those circumstances. So my question is, why are they approved? Okay. I have one comment, and my comment is that there's a lot of development going on here where we're throwing up houses and we're not paying attention to public or even semi-private kind of open spaces for people to congregate. And I'm particularly concerned about young people and who come from school and don't have any place to go. And that's-
Thank you, sir. Thank you for coming out. Okay. The alibi, we got an alibi for Miss Felice Colton. So we got rid of all the, everybody that signed up. Now we're moving into the alternates. We still have 5 minutes left. Cathi Hallock, Island Green Road.
Hi, my name's Cathi Hallock, and I also live in Island Green, but not quite in the same area as Joe. I have a presentation, unfortunately. I didn't bring it on a jump drive, I brought it on the laptop, and so I can't show you the lovely pictures. However, I'm here because I have some concerns, and the two concerns are flooding and the one entrance and one exit into our community. Some time ago, I guess it was 2019, I believe April, I'm going to say, the planning board approves them to add more housing and not have to add a separate entrance and exit. But he said he would make the road wider on the end. But that still leaves us only one exit, an entrance, with thousands of homes in there. Right now, they've just completed some more homes in there, and we're trying to get in and out of traffic, and you can't get out that road. Now, we have had a couple of incidences where there was an emergency, and that road was blocked, and we couldn't get out. In one incident, a tree fell over across that road, and it took them some time to get that out of there. Had that been a big emergency, thousands of people would have been stuck in there. So another time, it was a police issue where they were at a home, and they had all the police and fire department and all at this one end. Had we had to get out of there for some reason, we can't. There is no second exit. At that time, at that meeting, it was stated that it would be a financial hardship for the developer to have to put in another exit because there's not really a place for it. So he would have to buy some kind of property or build some kind of overpass or whatever. However, there was at one time another exit. And they built from the front back instead of from the back forward. And so they painted themselves into a corner. I get that, but what about all the people living there? Aren't their lives more important than that? And now we have the flooding issue. Shortly after that meeting, in fact, after Hurricane, whatever she is, I don't remember, the last hurricane we had, Florence, thank you. There was some flooding. An entire street was underwater. I have pictures. The entire street is underwater. These people had to be taken out in an army truck. She's an 82-year-old woman. They're trying to get her up into the truck. She can't get up there. She's just yelling, "Push my fanny and save my life. I don't care." Okay? All their stuff got ruined. All their memories, all their things, everything. They had to go out and rent housing because they couldn't be in their homes. This is a problem. Now there's more building going on. I see you. I didn't get a yellow yet, though.
Well, you came on a short time. You're an
I'll bring
alternate.
the thing the next time. Can I get back on another day?
Remember, I told everybody at the beginning, if they're going to run it over, it escalates, you know. But you're an alternate.
Yeah, no, I get
You
that.
got almost 5 minutes, but your time is up.
Okay,
We appreciate
thank
you
you.
coming.
And I can come back with the projection and finish that whole thing, because there's a lot of stuff about water. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. All right.
Mr. Chairman, is there a chance that we could have someone look into that? Because I do recall that there was supposed to be another entrance exit planned before they built any new. I recall that 4 or 5 years ago.
The administrator was looking at that.
If we can have someone look into it, thank you.
Administrator and Al can do that. All right, let's move on to the approval of the agenda contents.